both Invicta and also Seiko. First time actually presenting Seiko here on the live streams with Shop HQ. So I'm truly excited about that tonight. We're going to pick some we have a couple Invicta favorites that you guys have loved over time. So we brought a couple of those watches back tonight. Then we have just two brand new watches here to Shop HQ from Seiko. So a company that goes all the way back to 1881. So that's just really exciting about that. Well, let me just start off with the quick housekeeping items as we always do before we get into the watches. And so be sure to follow Shop HQ. Follow Shop HQ on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. Sign up for their text alerts, sign up for their email alerts, and also be sure, if you like watches and you like Shop HQ and you don't mind watching me, go ahead and follow Shop HQ on TikTok. Now that's not Shop HQ, it's Shop HQ Official. Shop HQ Official, because what you want to do is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, and also on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, so that's going to be the 30th and the 1st of May, I'll be live on TikTok on Shop HQ Official, and I think we're trying to shoot for not 2 minutes, but 2 hours each day. So if you want to get a bigger dose of some Invicta, you want to keep some chat going with the community out there, be sure to do that. Now make sure to follow Shop HQ Official. You can follow Shop HQ. That's not going to get you anything. I think 2 people are following it, and it's an inactive account. Speaking of TikTok, give me a follow. It is the.ryan.code, the Ryan Code on TikTok. And follow me on Instagram. That is the.ryan.code also. Same thing on X. And then Facebook's different. It's Invicta Ryan on Facebook. So, yes. Let me just look at anything else here we have for a couple key items that you guys need to know about. Like we have the coupon code here tonight for you. So the coupon code is going to be APR for April, WED for Wednesday. So APR WED 20. And so that will save you 20% off your orders of $99 or more tonight. And actually each watch will qualify for that. So write that down on a little Post-it if you want. I can write that down for you. Maybe I'll just flash that if I can find my Post-its. Where'd they go? Oh, here they are. I'll do that for you. APR WED 20. APR WED. Oh, you know what? I did that wrong. I have to go to the side. APR WED 20 for 20% off. Okay, there we go. I wrote it on a Post-it. You should be doing it too. All right, so we're going to kick off things. Let me just see about any other key messaging here really quick. Yes, I mentioned TikTok tomorrow and Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. So for probably 2 hours. It's going to be fun. And it's just a different platform. It's, energetic too, just like this. Just different people just always jumping in, jumping out, and everything else. So it's really fun. And here, check this out. Receive a $50 Shop HQ credit for all orders of $500 or more. All right, that's like 10% right there. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about, or let me just see who's on here first, and then I'll get into Seiko. So let's see who jumped on with my broken glass. I don't know if you can see it broke right there. Okay, we have Watch Junkie. Thank you for being here, Watch Junkie. Felix is here. He hasn't said my name wrong yet. Michael, Christopher White, thank you for being here. Navy Doc. Jerry is here. Thank you, Jerry. Rick and Lisa, thank you for being here tonight. Godfather and Bob Cohen. Let's see, anybody else? Rick and Lisa, you're always one of the first people here, Rick and Lisa, so thank you for that. And Godfather, too. Oh, yeah, you know what? Speaking of, there's going to be a special guest coming up this Sunday that will be joining me on the live stream. So stay tuned and see who that is. That's going to be joining me, just like Anthony Invicta Claus did a couple weeks ago. Let me just see anything else. Felix, great. Mr. White, okay. All right, well, Phil. Hi, Phil. Good to see you here. All right, well, we're going to kick off with Seiko. And Seiko, just as in Japanese, means exquisite. It means it also means the minutes and or success. And I think that plays really well with this company. It's a long established company going all the way back to 1881, where a 21-year-old opened up a shop to fix clocks and also watches. 10 years later, bought a factory and started manufacturing, first of all, started manufacturing wall clocks, and then got into pocket watches. And then was it 1913? Let me just double check. I think, yeah, 1913 was the first wristwatch. And then 10 years later, in 1923, there was a big earthquake in Japan, and it affected the headquarters, and from there caught on fire and just ruined the headquarters. Now, back then it was actually called Seikosha, and so a year later, they decided to come out with the very first then Seiko timepiece. They came back with in 1924. So it's just been a brand that's been really cool. I'm still getting a little bit extra familiar with it. I haven't really had that much time, but I'll tell you, I'm impressed with it. It just really has a classic look here to the different designs here for Seiko. So, all right, well, we'll kick off here with everything. And so here is the packaging that you're going to get with Seiko. So you get a nice, just clean looking box here. And this is going to be the Seiko Men's Classic, the 37 millimeter. This is actually an automatic. And so I know it says quartz, but we're going to change that to automatic here. Day date, silver tone bracelet watch. Now there's just one color choice that's silver tone. So as I open this up, you see immediately just a classic design here. I love the hour markers that are part of it, just the stick markers. It's a clean dial, but just a little bit of texture, and automatic. Now it's not a mechanical automatic. I'll get into that in just a moment. And what you're getting also is the day date, which is something I just truly love with a timepiece there, just because my days, I've always said it, my weeks are never the same. And so I like to see what date it is, and I like to see also what day of the week it actually is. Okay, now this is 37 millimeters. Me personally, I don't have a 37 millimeter in my personal collection, but when I look at this watch, even at 37 millimeters, I was just looking at it myself and appreciating it. 37 millimeters, what I like about this watch immediately, I mean, first of all, it's that classic design that goes along with the timepiece. But then it's just the ease and readability also that accompanies this watch. We have thin hands for the hour markers, and thin hands also for the 3 different hands on the inside. And then the day date's just a little bit larger. Now let's talk about the pricing. The pricing for this watch, as you'll be able to look at, I'll bring it up a little closer here for you. So the pricing for this timepiece is regularly $275. Sale price at Shop HQ, they dropped it down to $184.99. And if you use APR WED20, brings this watch down to $147.99. $147.99. Now this watch, as you'll be able to see here, you can see the sweeping second hand that's moving just past 35 seconds. Exhibition case back, and look at this, an extended case back here too for the movement. But you get to see back here the Seiko name, and then it's also the movement. Now the movement on the inside, this is a 21 jewel automatic, 41-hour power reserve, 21,600 vibrations every single hour, 6 every single second. So this is what I refer to as an automatic movement. Now, such as with the NH35 and many, many other movements out there, I call them mechanical automatics, because you can wind up those watches by turning the crown or by wearing the timepiece. That rotor, such as this watch has, will move in the back, and that will also self-wind the watch. Now, this being a pure automatic, this is going to actually, you can't wind this watch up via the crown. You either have to just kind of move the watch around for a little bit, and it'll start to move, put it on your wrist, and it'll keep on moving, and it'll keep going. Or if you want to, if you have a watch winder, you can use one of those if you're going to plan on wearing the watch every day. Now, the full wind, you have 41 hours of power reserve, so you're totally okay. I mean, you have the watch on, it will wind itself up all the way during the course of the day. Leave it overnight, pick it up in the morning, it's still going to be running, put it back on the wrist. It'll just keep itself wound up automatically. So, yeah, that's something that I haven't seen from Shop HQ too much, which is just a pure automatic. Now, the pure mechanicals are just the watches you wind up, there's no rotor, and then they do they run out of power if you don't keep on winding them up. So this is not a big deal. If it runs out of power, just give it a few shakes for a little bit and then it'll be going. And what I like too is the bracelet design on this. The bracelet is very fluid. It's pretty lightweight on this timepiece also. You'll see, just put it over my finger quite easily. And then in terms of the overall wrist size, this watch will fit up to, we're looking at about a 7 3/4 inch wrist. Now this case thickness, as I mentioned, is a little under half of an inch. We're looking at about 11.8 millimeters. 13 millimeters is right at about that half inch. But again, you're getting in that classic design, calendar, day, date, and the day actually, the day of the week actually can be in English or it can be in Spanish. It's just how you set it. Overall weight is 3.1 ounces or 88 grams. So a little bit of a lighter weight here, especially at 37 millimeter. The thing is, like I said, the small swatch I have is a 40 millimeter, but you want to go with that classic style. I mean, that looks pretty sharp on the wrist right there. I think it would be for easily the men and the women when it comes to this timepiece. Look at that bracelet. I really like that bracelet design. It just wraps around the wrist. You can see right around that, 7 3/4. I have about a 6 3/4 inch wrist. Just to put this into perspective, yeah, I like that watch. Fun. Oh, 3-year warranty also is what you're getting with Seiko. So nice warranty that actually starts the date of your purchase. So you're placing your purchase tonight, it starts today, not when you receive the watch, because it's time-stamped on that invoice. So yeah, I think that's a great watch to be able to kick off everything. Let me look at some of the comments here. Let me see some hearts tonight too, guys, if it's for me or if it's for Harry. I know it's all going to be for Harry, so I'll just think it's for both of us. It'll make me feel good. Yeah, I'll see the hearts coming here in a second. Okay, let's see. There's Invicta Claus. Thank you for being here tonight, Anthony. Godfather, I was talking about manually. Let's see. Oh, there are the hearts. Maybe that's Anthony. Let's see. I guess Bob and Navy Doc are chatting. Godfather Jerry. Oh, Jerry. Here. Really cool. Jerry says he has a few different Seikos and he loves them. Thank you, Jerry, for that comment. Hey, Jesse's here again tonight. Good to see you, Jesse. Oh, Christopher White loves Seiko. Here we go. Here's that watch again. Let's see some of the others. Phil is here also. All right, good to see you, Phil. There are the hearts again. I hope that's just not Anthony. I don't want his finger or thumb to get a little bit tired here tonight. So let me just look at anything else. Invicta Claus, Tim Shaw. Thank you for being here, Tim. All right, hearts for us both. Thank you there, Invicta Claus. All right, well, we're going to move on then to the next watch here, which is has a little bit of a similar look, but it's still different from Seiko. And so we're going to move on here to the next timepiece. It's going to be actually the Series 5 38 millimeter automatic day date. Same movement on the inside as we just had with the last watch. And I'll put them up side by side so you can see the difference between the two. But the bracelet is going, the bracelet is going to be just a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit heavier, but you still have the crown that's offset right down here at the 4 o'clock position. Same movement, so you're getting the calendar day date along with the timepiece, but different bracelet. And so the Series 5 38 millimeter day date. Two-tone. Now we're calling it two-tone because there's a little bit of that gold tone right here and then also on the inside here for the timepiece. The bracelet width is going to be 19 millimeters on this watch. We're looking at 38 for the case diameter, 10.5 for the overall profile, and the weight is going to be 116 grams or really right around that 4 ounces. Now the crystal in this watch is actually going to be upgraded. And so Seiko, it's called the Hardlex and it's proprietary to Seiko. It's a hardened mineral crystal that was developed by Seiko, and it has a scratch resistance and also that shatter resistance in this crystal. It's just more durable in impacts than a sapphire crystal here. So it's a little bit of a blend between that sapphire and also that mineral crystal here for the watch. Now let me just put them side by side for a second so you can see. Let me get them up here. So they're about the same size. We're looking at about 37 millimeters for the first watch, the classic, and then the 38 millimeter. You can see the different bracelet Little bit different case design. You can see how this one looks a little bit more dive watch. This one has a little bit more of that vintage flair. Okay, and just a little bit heavier when we're talking about the Series 5. So you get a little high polished finish that goes along through the bracelet, a high polished bezel that carries all the way around, and you get that gold tone that accompanies here all the hour markers and the hands on the inside. Now both the watches from Seiko do have bright luminescence. That's a part of it. Don't know if it's going to show because it's still pretty bright out, but I guess you can get a little bit of an idea of perhaps what it can look like here as I just flash down a little bit. Let me see if I can get this correct. But there is a nice green glow that goes along with both these timepieces. Exhibition window on the case back yet again for this watch. And then in terms of the clasp, this has a little bit more of an upgraded clasp on this version. Oh, I forgot to talk about the price. We'll get to that in 1 second. Push button to point closure. So pops open, super easy. And there's a watch right there. Classic, sharp. I think it could be casual to business, anywhere in between on that watch. Now the price on this timepiece is, let me just double check. We're looking at, regular $275 on sale for $184.99. And so with APR WED, you're looking at $147.99. So beautiful timepiece here. Look handsome on the wrist. I like the exhibition windows too. Not all watches have it, and sometimes I like the decorated case backs if a watch has an automatic or mechanical movement on the inside, so you can see and appreciate that. But then, unless the case back has something significant to it, then I'll give it an out. But I do like to see the case backs here for the watches. Let me see about anything else here. Wrist size on this one is just a little bit more generous. We're looking up to about an 8-inch wrist size. And then you're looking at 30 meters of water resistance here. So the watch can get just a little bit wet and you're totally okay with it. So I think that looks really nice on the wrist. So the only thing is you have to be 8 inches or smaller in terms of the wrist size. So let me just see here what we have for some other comments. 1 second. Okay, Felix, Invicta Claws, Navy Doc, Tim Shaw. Okay, everybody's just kind of catching up, it seems like. So, okay, cool. All right, well, we're going to move on to Invicta here then for the next two watches. And as I said, we picked out a couple watches that have been some of your favorites. And for those of you who are just tuning in, I have the next live stream coming up here this Sunday. And so with Shop HQ, this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, but both tomorrow and also on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'm going to be on TikTok again. And so we had a great TikTok show the other day, and so we're going to do it. And I think we're going to shoot for 2 hours. So if you guys want that banter, that chatting going on, different platform, and you have the time, we'd love to see you over there. And that's on Shop HQ Official on TikTok. Be sure to follow them. And follow them and check out some different watches there. And I mean, there's some great deals also when we're going on TikTok. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay, next timepiece here. Let me just double check. What do we have up there, Harry? Let me just see really quick which one we have with the blue dial. Oh, okay, we'll go with the Akula. Okay. So the next watch we're going with is an Akula. Now, a lot of you are probably familiar with that from Invicta. So bigger timepiece. This is, it's probably about the same size, same weight as what we're going to see with the last watch here. So bigger timepiece, definitely. If you want something more classic, you can look at the Seiko version. You want something a little bit more bold, check out this Invicta. So what we have here is a 58 millimeter Akula. And so it is 58 millimeters, so you go west to east, but if you go 10 to 4, you're looking at around, that 50 millimeter. I always like to think it fits like a Sub-Aquanova 3 on the wrist. But look at the crystals going around the bezel, those baguette crystals, 3 millimeters. And so there are 50 of those that go around to give you that extra bling on the wrist. Now, there are 3 different color choices, but one color is already sold out, and that's just the regular blue. Regular blue is sold out. This is black, but I would say, and you agree with me, I'd say it's a little bit more gray or gunmetal for the dial on the inside. It's not black by any means. And then there is a light blue, which is a pretty hot color. It's like that robin's egg blue. Think about that with all the crystals going around. Yeah, that's going to look really, really nice on the wrist. So yeah, here's the option. So what we have for a movement on the inside is the PC32 from TMI, which also happens to be a company underneath the Seiko Group. So the TMI has been a part of that for a long time. But then you get a unique bracelet design, which is high polish finish for those center links that are actually rising up. You can see even from the side, with a brushed finish for all the other links. And some people like to say too, looks like an eye, if you turn it this way, like Invicta, that goes along for that link. That's done in the brushed finish here for the watch. Now in terms of this the pricing, MSRP $16.95. Shop HQ brought this down to $164.99, and if you use that coupon code APR WED20, brings this watch down to $131.99. All that bling, all those crystals, whether it's this color, which is considered black, I say it's more of a gunmetal, or if you want to get into that light blue, which is a beautiful color option out there. Yeah, take advantage of that for the $131.99. It's a great deal. Here's the watch on my wrist, and let me just see. We're looking at a wrist size on this watch is going to be, it's going to be right at that. Oh, I'm going to measure it out. Anthony likes it when I use the cone anyway. Here's the watch on my wrist. I had that Seiko on before, looked nice. I think this watch looks great too. Yeah, check that out. You can see all those crystals that are just popping. And, all right, Anthony, this is for you, bud. I thought I measured it out earlier. So let's see what size wrist this watch will fit up to. Okay, we're looking at 8, just about 8 3/4. Right where that little thin line is, right underneath here, that's 8 3/4, this bold line, that's 9. So, a wide variety of wrist sizes here for this watch. I'll wait to see Anthony's comment here in just a minute. You are getting luminescent for each hour marker, and then also for the hand, also for the hands on the inside of the timepiece. Little accent on the second hand too. So 200 meters of water resistance, heavier watch at about that 11 ounces. But yeah, definitely a bold presence on the wrist when you're walking into that happy hour or dinner, going out on that date, going to that reunion, whatever it happens to be. So yeah, actually speaking of reunions today, I had a little mini reunion with some of my great friends from high school. We all met for coffee today. I'll just give them a shout out. There was Amy, Annette, and also Sarah, and then me. So it was really fun just catching up with some good friends from growing up, and we still just love hanging out and laughing and telling good stories together. So great to see all of you this morning. All right, well, I am going to move on here to the last timepiece. Let me just check out some comments here really quick. Okay, here we go. Victor Claus says, nice. Bob, Felix, you have everything so far. I think he's probably right. Invicta Claus, awesome watch for a great price. Jerry says, Felix, I have them all so far. Bob says, hi, Anthony. So yeah, Rick and Lisa. I agree. Needs a lethal weapon cone. Yep, see, he loves, where's that? Where'd that go? All right, Invicta Claus. I don't know, maybe I'll bonk you next time I see you with the cone here. So, all right. All right, we'll move on here to the last watch. And so this is a watch that you guys are familiar with. You've seen it before. And this watch is really, it's a watch that's complex for complexity's sake, is like what I like to say for this timepiece. And we're looking at the Fusion. Now look at this watch. First of all, I mean, look at the design architecture, the uniqueness that carries along. You have these oversized pins that are going through. The bezel on the timepiece, 120 clicks. 14 different components make up the bezel for that watch. And you want something on the wrist that's just going to pop. Here's that light blue. There are 5 other colors, but one of them is sold out. So this is a light blue mother of pearl. We have a red mother of pearl, black mother of pearl, and white mother of pearl, olive mother of pearl, and gold tone. So I think the black mother of pearl is the one that is sold out currently. So you have 5 other color choices. MSRP $17.95. ShopHQ brought it down to $249.99. Use that coupon code APRWED20 April Wednesday 20. Brings this watch down to $199.99. Okay, check that out. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, so what it is, and let me talk about this, is when we're talking about a fusion, talking about taking two different components from two completely different watches, could be same collection or different collections. And this watch is actually two different collections. So it's the Venom, which is technically part of the Sub-Aqua collection, which is the bezel in this timepiece from the Venom Generation 3, highly, highly complex. Most bezels are one piece. This is 14 individual pieces that make up that bezel. And then it's the Chaos for the case design and also then for the bracelet, this watch. You can see that massive tapering bracelet that goes down. Yeah. And then movement on the inside. Again, we're referencing Time Module Inc. So there's a little bit of that blend here for this watch. Is the VD53. So you have a chronograph, which is stopwatch feature. That's going to keep time for your seconds and also your minutes, and then your 24-hour hand that's also a part of this watch. 328 grams or 11.6 ounces. So this is the heaviest and biggest watch of the show. Water resistance, professional dive specs at 200 meters. And this watch will fit up to wrist sizes to 9 inches. So big variety. And I should be able to get my hand through. I can just barely get my hand through without it unclasping. So yeah, we're right at that 9-inch mark on this watch. So yeah, it's a beauty, but I got to say those mother of pearl, check them out on the website. Looks really, really sharp. So here we go with just a final roundup here. So this is the Fusion. We have the other Invicta, which is going to be the Akula, this color choice, and then one other color choice is going to be a light blue. And then we have the Seiko, that 38 millimeter Series 5. Check that out. And then we have the 37 millimeter Classic. Both these are automatics. Here, one second, there we go. Just a little bit of a difference in the bracelet and also in the case size, same move or case shape. So fun timepieces tonight, totally different. And here's what's fun and about ShopHQ. If you like big watches, they're big watches. Like smaller, more classic watches, there are those too. ShopHQ has so much going on. There is more coming in with ShopHQ. We're expanding not only the number of our live streams, but also the duration for you guys. So we're just being really receptive to you. And if you have any other ideas or what you'd like to see, you can communicate to me on Facebook, which is Invicta Ryan. Send me a private message on there. You can message me on Instagram. It is the.ryan.code. Also, you can send me an email at Invicta Collectors if there's something you'd like to see, or if it's something you don't like. Yeah, I'll listen to that too. Can make some recommendations. But yeah, we just want to keep on catering you guys. We appreciate you guys, and we want to see your reviews too on shophq.com when you make that purchase out there. And we want you to be able to help other people make the right choice and decisions when maybe they don't know that much, perhaps maybe about Seiko or Invicta or Deep Blue or Nubeo. And your reviews will help them make that choice out there. All right, let me just check out a couple comments here really quick and see about that. All right. Godfather, great show and timepieces as always. Well, thank you, Godfather. INV says, great timepiece. Thank you. Rick and Lisa, awesome picks tonight. Thanks, Ryan. Thank you, Rick and Lisa. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow and Friday and then again on Sunday. Remember, Sunday, have a special guest. So you definitely want to stay tuned and see who that special guest is, unless he or she already let it out the bag, which is totally okay. But yeah, it'll be fun. And I always love getting this guest's take on things. They know Invicta very well, and I appreciate them very much. They're one of my good friends, and looking forward to that show on Sunday. So outside of that, see you tomorrow, hopefully, if you can. If you can't, if you don't have 2 hours tomorrow, just try to jump over to TikTok for a little bit, or let somebody else know too. We'd love to see more and more people join. So, all right, you guys enjoy your evening. I'm gonna get out for a walk here with the dog. I'm doggy sitting here, and call it a night. I have an early morning. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.